Thank goodness a young sailor on the USS Nimitz didn't do that, did not try to solve my problem. See, I had this opportunity several years ago. 8 of us got to fly out to the Nimitz and land with the tail hook and everything. It was very exciting. It was a VIP tour. I am not a VIP, but I know one, and so I got to go with him, and it was very exciting. We got to see, you were on the deck watching the jets take off and land, and we went up to the bridge and watched them guide the whole ship. We got to see everything. We even met the admiral of the fleet and sat with him in his command room, and it was on the way to the weapons locker that I got lost. Actually, it's far easier than you can imagine, than you might suspect, to get lost on an aircraft carrier. I turned a corner and they were gone, my entire tour group. Now, what they had taught us was to do 2 things. One, find a crew person if you get lost and tell them where the next place is that you're supposed to be going with your tour. So always remember where we're headed, and then just tell them to take you there. So that's what I did. I found a fellow in a red shirt, a crewman, which is good because they're in charge of the weapons, and we were headed to the weapons locker. So I said to him, hello, can you take me to the weapons? That's not exactly what the tour guide told me to say. And I can tell you this, what was going through that young, like 19-year-old, what was going through his mind, of all the options he had, not one of them was, take this guy to the weapons. He was never going to do that. But what he did instead was say, sir, follow me. And suddenly he went to a very bad day. In a heartbeat, his situation turned from happy to stressed and beyond his expectations, just like what's going to happen to some of us over the next few weeks. We know these kinds of things happen. So here in this situation, the crewman, one of 6,000 crew members on board, and today there happened to be 8 civilians, one of whom was lost, and tapping him on the shoulder. And his day went from whatever he thought he was going to be to something he never possibly imagined was going to happen. And he did not know what he was going to do, but he wasn't going to try to solve the problem. The reason I tell this story is he didn't do what Philip did. He passed it up. He said, this is beyond me. I can't solve this problem. I'm going to take it to a higher authority. Folks, that's what we need to do. We can't solve the problems. Let's take it to a higher authority. So he looked at me like I was Bigfoot, the last thing he could possibly imagine seeing on his ship. And he said, follow me, sir. And he took me to that hatch, and he knocked on the door, and he opened the door. And these 2 officers were at a table, and they look up, and clearly no one was supposed to be opening their door. But he did, and one of them says, sailor, what is it? So he didn't say a word. He just goes like that and points at me. And these officers they said, good work, you're dismissed, which was the best thing that guy could ever have heard. And he got out of there right away. I was not his problem to fix. When we try to fix problems or overcome obstacles in our own power with just our resources, we limit the possibilities to only what we can imagine. Fixing me wasn't his job. Now, I did have to explain to these officers that I was trying to get to the weapons locker, and they were very gracious. They were very polite. They called me sir instead of idiot, and they actually led me to my tour group rather than a firing squad. So I thought I had gotten out of it pretty well.